Your Excellency, the President, Commander-in-Chief, Muhammadu Buhari GCFR, Your Excellency, the Vice President, Yemeshu of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Chief Justice of the Federation, ably represented by Justice the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, the youth class, leadership of both houses, the Senate Senators, members of the House of Representatives, the Chairman of the Governors Forum, and other executive governors here present, the APC National Chairman, and all members of the Executive, the Secretary of Government, Boss Mustafa, the Head of Civil Service of the Federation, Honorable Ministers here present, members of the Diplomatic Corps, the CNA and his Deputy, the Clerk of both House and the Senate, National Assembly, management staff, invited guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. President, Excellency, on behalf of my colleagues, distinguished senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and honorable members of the House of Representatives, I welcome you and the members of your executive team to this joint session of the National Assembly. Excellency, it gives us great delight to see you here in person, rejuvenated. We are most grateful to Almighty God for your revised state of health in this period of national recovery, and we pray it continues. Let me use this opportunity to thank all the members of the National Assembly that put the country first and resisted the urge to play politics when the periods the President's time away. It is pleasing to note that the budget is being presented early than in December. This is a welcome development. I also commend the President, the Economic Management team, my distinguished colleagues, honorable members of the House, as well as all Nigerians working together to make the necessary sacrifices to get the economy out of recession. Without doubt, this recovery benefited from greater policy coordination, prioritization, and passage of economic reform bills, but more importantly, the resilience of the Nigerian people. Having said that, it is pertinent to know that the implementation of the 2018 budget, how it is implemented, to be a defining element of this administration. We must therefore continue to work together to steady the ship of this recovery. As the country gradually recovers, it is important to reset the fundamentals that drive our economy so that we do not slide back into recession. We must reassess the relationship between oil and our economy. We must grow our economy from oil and the need to increase non-oil revenue generation and collection. Revenues from taxes as well as independent revenues from state-owned enterprises must be taken seriously. If the budget is to be funded, we cannot afford to turn a blind eye to revenue underperformance. While there is a need to review extant laws guiding the operation of some government enterprises, I urge for more determined effort on the part of the executive to plug leakages in this area. This sector alone accounts for over 40 trillion naira in valuation, of which less than 400 billion naira is remitted as revenue to the consolidation position account. This is way below expectation, and we need to vigorously address this area. The budgets of parastatals and agencies are to be submitted with this budget this afternoon as stipulated. We all must make sure to ensure that they are passed as early as possible, and parastatals and agencies that fail to submit their budget along with the 2018 budget must be sanctioned and ensure that access to capital expenditure is denied. Further to the area of increasing independent revenue, there is an urgent need to review agreements that government has signed with a number of private sector service providers in the area of revenue collection. These agreements are biased and clearly not in the interest of the country and are affecting our revenue potential. We appreciate the need to spend, Mr. President. However, we must ensure that our borrowing is targeted at productive projects that will stimulate the economy. We must ensure real value for money projects funded by borrowing, but ensure that these projects are not overpriced. To To ensure consistency in government's economic programs and tax policies, we will be requiring the submission of the 2018 budget along with a finance bill that will clearly detail the imposition, alteration, or regulation of taxes. These will help a long way in putting financial proposals of government into effect. Looking around today, we see that many of our undergraduates are apprehensive about graduation day. Our National Youth Corps members are not looking forward to the end of service year for fear of being tagged unemployed. While I commend your current efforts at tackling unemployment, especially the youth through federal youth programs such as UWIN, NPower, and YES program, deliberate steps must be taken to make the 2018 budget a job-oriented one. It is in that line that we must see the implementation of the procurement law with particular reference to the part that has to do with support for made-in-Nigeria goods. The implementation of the 2018 budget must anchor on the made-in-Nigeria project so that government procurement is reflected in this line. As we strive to start implementing the budget, all our effort will be in vain if we do not eliminate the unnecessary bureaucracy and speed up the procurement process. Also, government should continue to create the enabling environment for private sector businesses to thrive through its policies and spending priorities. As we pat ourselves on the back that Nigeria has made a quantum leap, going up 24 places in the World Bank Ease of Doing Business, we must not rest on our laurels. There is need to complement reforms in the ease of doing business with targeted spending. In this view, we must move beyond budgetary provisions to ensure adequate funding available for execution of projects. On our part, the 8th National Assembly is standing firm on its objective of expanding economic opportunities through economic reform bills that we have prioritized. Let me also now talk about mainstream social inclusion. Mr. President, each and every Nigerian wants to be part of the economic progress. We must never lose sight of the need for equity and balanced development across the entire spread of our country. Infrastructure development should be seen to be well distributed, create growth pools away from major city centers, and drive the regeneration of our rural areas. Agriculture, for instance, is meaningless without those that were engaged in the farming in the countryside. The current rate of rural to urban migration is alarming and unsustainable, congesting the cities and stretching resources to breaking point while undermining the economic viability of some states. People must be able to see a future for themselves in every corner of this country, not just in the big cities. And as such, Mr. President, as well as the big ticket projects like power, rail, hill trunk roads, also there are smaller projects in our different constituencies which impact on people's lives. We must do both. Both are necessary in order to ensure success of our promises to our people. It is important that I emphasize that the implementation of the budget of 2018 should in no way dampen the enthusiasm for the implementation of the 2017 budget. As I close, Mr. President, I would like to advise and caution that there is no better time in this administration than now for a vigorous drive for a good working relationship between the executive and the legislature. The early passage of the 2018 budget will depend on this good working relationship. The passage of important executive bills that will improve the ease of doing business is also dependent on this. So, Mr. President, with all sense of responsibility, the 469 members in this chamber are your true partners that will ensure the success of your administration in achieving your goals and objectives. So I will appeal to continue to lobby them, close ranks, and let them work for you. They have shown in the past that they can work for you, and they are ready to do so. Let me assure Mr. President that in considering 2018 budget proposal, the National Assembly will work with your team to achieve the best result. On this note, Your Excellency, it's my honor to hereby invite you to deliver your speech and lay the 2018 budget proposal for the constitution of the National Assembly in accordance with Section 81 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. I thank you all for your attention.